Welcome to Gambletown, the Democratic People's Republic of Gambletown, to be clear.
Ugh,
Uh, hold on. Are we in Gambletown? Because I'm hitting refresh and I don't see it.
I do.
You do? Oh, there we go. There we go. Hey,
Got it.
like I said, we are absolutely on air. No questions asked. Welcome to Gambleton. Sorry, Gambletown. We're not in Britain. Oh, I'm on the wrong fucking page here.
Well, let's breeze through how bad we did last week. We got crushed.
Yeah,
We
1
got
and
housed.
14 on show bets. Don't worry, guys. I'll do the heavy lifting this week.
Who got the one bet that was right?
Waleed.
One
Shit.
thing. But, like,
Yeah, it was
what kills
bad
me-
week all around.
Oh, bad week. 2 of my top 5 bets were on pace to like hit their overs. Then they got hurt, like Josh Jacobs, Jalen Warren. Last week was a bloodbath for me. But I always feel good coming out of bloodbaths now because I've noticed the next week is never as bad. Like it can
Yeah,
only get
we're
better
due.
from here. We are as dangerous as we've ever been. But you know what? One bet is fine because that just means we're going to get 14 bets this week.
For sure.
That sounds great.
All right.
So then let's do that. Then let's
Let's hit all of our bets, guys.
roll up
Let's
our
get
sleeves
going, guys.
and get after it. As your reigning top 5 bets of the week leader, I'm going to start. So the wide receiver system actually this week has
You know
two
what?
nines.
Before you get going here, I did want to
Yes.
point out a couple of things here.
Sure.
Hold on. Where are you? So just so you guys know, over the last 4 weeks, we are now 29 and 29. We're break even. On the season, we're still 90 and 83, so we're up. Even though we're 1 and 14 this week. And back to you, Tony.
Wonderful. So the wide receiver system has 9 plays this week, but also it has 2 nines. It's a 10-point system, and it's the first time we've had 9s.
That's
And
crazy.
my first top 5 bet of the week is going to be one of those 9s, and it's Jackson Smith and Jigba over 92.5 receiving yards. I don't care. I think it's up to 93 in some places. He's going to rip shit up. He is the world's best separator against cover 4. He is going against a team that plays cover 4, the 3rd highest rate in the league. He averages 8.34 yards per route run against cover 4. So
Okay.
that's like take Puka Nakua's eliteness and then double it. That's JSN. So my first bet of the week, something I feel good about, is JSN over 92.5. Waleed, your second.
Sure.
Or your first. Sorry.
Well, my first is going to be the second thing on the sheet here. I'm also all over JSN. I'm going JSN over 100 yards. That was the line I saw. I can't believe Tony got it at 92.5. That's insane to me. On my wide receiver model, like JSN is one of the top guys. He's technically the number 1 guy over the season. For the last 4 weeks, he shows up as the number 7 guy. Like his numbers are a little bit down just based on usage, but I also understand that JSN is JSN, man. Like this matchup was one thing that I had earmarked, and the fact that like where I go, like JSN is just one of the top plays with good reason. He's on pace to shatter Jamar Chase's receiving totals from last year. That's insane because Jamar Chase had an incredible season last year. So betting JSN overs is only like free money. Like if you did it every time this year, you've made a healthy amount of money.
Yep, that is correct. Okay, Ryan, your first top 5 bet of the week, my friend.
All right, guys. This week, I'm going with Matt Stafford's over 2.5 passing touchdowns. It's at plus 154. I think it's a safe bet this week, guys. Let's take a look at some of Stafford's stats. He has, put it this way, guys. He's got 20 passing touchdowns this year against the blitz, and that leads the NFL by far. And guess who blitzes the most of all teams in the NFL? The Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yep.
A little bit more than a third of the time they're blitzing. So it's a pretty and Shane had some good stuff to say about this in the podcast too. This was Shane's Aer Lingus game of the week, Tampa versus the Rams. I think this one has possibility to hit the over. I think it's going to be back and forth. We've got Godwin back. We've got Ibuka. All the Rams are healthy. So yeah, I'm taking over 2.5 passing touchdowns
Yeah, I think
for,
that's a
for
great play.
Stafford.
I think it's a great play. All right. My second top five bet of the week is also a 9 on the system. The best man coverage beater in football. I'm on Ross St. Brown, over 77.5 receiving yards. You always run the risk with Amon Ra of getting game scripted out, but I'm not worried about it. I think that this could be a big play here. 77.5 is a good line for Amon Ra. Usually you get it in the 80s, and it opened at 83 and it went down to 77. So take the over, and yeah, that's my second bet. Waleed?
My second bet of the week. I'm all about Jameer Gibbs over 110 rushing yards and receiving yards. This is one of the smashiest of smash plays for me. Uh, Tennessee Titans, man, they're giving up. Where are we at here? So right now, Detroit Lions, they have one of the best rush grades of the week, and Tennessee Titans. Where am I going? I had this number here somewhere. Yeah, over the last 4 weeks, they're giving up 5.09 yards per rush attempt. Uh, Lions coming off a loss typically wreck their opponent.
Yeah.
Titans are susceptible to running backs, and Jameer Gibbs is one of the best running backs in football. This is just a simple. I combined the rushing and receiving because I also just like this is one of those where I could see him housing a screen pass and just hitting that total.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
like combining rushing and receiving with Gibbs because he generally gets to his yardage totals, but we just don't quite know how.
Right. Yeah, I always love doing the rushing receiving for Gibbs.
Okay. Ryan, your second top
Uh,
five bet of the week.
Number 2 this week, guys, and it actually went down. Last night I got it at 50.5 on the New England Cincinnati game. It is now at 49.5 on FanDuel. I don't know why it went down because it was minus 115 to the over last night. It's still minus 115 to the over. Usually the lines generally move if the betting is on the under, but it was clearly on the over if it was juice like that. But guys, Cincinnati has given up 27 points in 9 games in a row. That ties a record back from like the 60s or 70s. And all 5 Bengals home games have gone over the total this year. And when in a game with New England, who's one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, and Cincinnati, who's can put up points with Joe Flacco. I know we don't have Jamar Chase, but I mean Higgins can do just the same. You got Yoshivash, you got Fant. I think this easily surpasses the over. I'm looking at like 34-27, 31-24, something like that. I think this has the potential to go back. And I mean, who knows? Cincinnati could put up 45 points just by themselves. And then all Cincinnati's got to do is score a touchdown. So I really like New England Cincinnati over 50.5 this week. But guys, if you really want, go get it at 49.5 right now.
Do we have word on Joe Burrow yet? Like, is he going to get
He's out.
activated for this
No.
game? He's officially out?
No,
Thank
Flacco's
God.
playing. Flacco's playing for sure.
Okay. All right. My third top five bet of the week. I had 2 9s this week, but I also had 2 8s. And I'm going to go with one of those 8s here to hit, and it's Michael Pittman over 51.5 receiving yards. Now,
Oh, yeah.
Alec Pierce, like, he's on the list. He's not one of my top 5 bets of the week, but he got a 6. But it should be noted, Michael Pittman got an 8. He is one of the best separators against cover 2 in the NFL. And the Chiefs play cover 2 at the 6th highest rate in the league. Daniel Jones is dealing against cover 2. The Colts are a top 10 pass rate over expectation offense. And Michael Pittman targeted on 40% of his routes against cover 2. So I got it at 51.5, and that is my third top 5 bet of the week. Waleed?
So my third top 5 bet of the week, we're going Colston Loveland over 26.5 receiving yards. This is a very simple one for me. Steelers are giving up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. They're giving up the 8th most yards. Colston Loveland's usage over the last few weeks has been increasing. And this isn't a bad number. 26.5 is nothing. I feel like this is 2 catches for him.
Yes.
The way he's been playing. And matchups there, I think that I think it's going to be a Loveland week. Simple as that. I'm going to have a lot of him in DFS. He's one of my favorite tight ends of the week for like just a cheap buy.
Sure. Okay.
And since Wally just said that, I will go with my third top 5 bet of the week, and that is also Colson Loveland. But this morning I got it at 24.5 on FanDuel. I like him for 50 yards and a touchdown this week. I think 24.5 is super low for this game that we got to have going on in Chicago.
Okay. My fourth top 5 bet of the week. I am playing my other system 8, and it is Puka Nakua over 87.5 receiving yards. I have a feeling, and I haven't checked, but I wonder if it's gone down because I know that people are freaking out about them doing 3 tight ends. No, it's still 87.5 in most places. Some places 88. You can get it on FanDuel 87, DraftKings 88, BetMGM 89. But I got it at 87.5. I like it. It's a system play, and you're going to root against Puka Nakua.
Yeah, right.
All right, Waleed.
So my fourth bet of the week, we're going Drake May over 255.5 passing yards. Honestly, I was back and forth between this and the Henderson rushing over, but when I was looking at bets, the Henderson line hadn't posted yet. And frankly, I think just Drake May is, in my opinion, the number 1 fantasy quarterback of the week. And most projections seem to agree with that. The Bengals just give up points, they give up yards, and Drake May has been killing it. Like, there's a reason he's in the MVP talks. I'm betting on talent and matchup.
Okay. Weird. I feel like there's a podcast that said that.
Yeah.
Season.
I'd also point out too, they're giving the Bengals giving up 7.91 yards per pass attempts. On pass grade, what was I looking at? Drake May's got the 3rd best coverage grade of the week and the 2nd highest expected fantasy points per dropback. So the math bears out that Drake May is just a good play.
Yep, I agree. Ryan, pick 4.
Number 4 this week, guys. I'm going with another tight end. It was my TH Fantasy mid-tier kind of shitty tight end of the week. Hunter Henry's over 3.5 receptions. Guys, Cincinnati has allowed 12 touchdowns this year to the tight end position. That is the most of any team. They give up a lot of points to the tight end position. And honestly, I was shocked when I went and looked it up that it wasn't at 4.5, like plus 110 or 106 or something like that. It's juiced, it's actually plus 102 at 3.5. That when I saw that, I was like, I'm smashing that.
Yeah.
So Hunter Henry's over 3.5 receptions against the team that's the worst against the tight ends this year.
Over the last 4 weeks, Cincinnati's giving up 10.5 yards per target to the tight end position. For inline routes, they're giving up 10.8 yards over the last 4 weeks. Cincinnati, over the last couple of years, has been historically bad against defending tight ends. I told you I liked Loveland. I also love Hunter Henry this week. I think he's one of the smashiest of smash plays. Any of my May shirts is going to have Hunter Henry tagged.
And I don't know, and I think it could be necessarily a product of just who Cincinnati gets to practice up against. Who are they practicing against? Drew Sample, Noah Fant. They've historically never really used the tight end that well, so they're not practiced really well against it, I think, too.
Yeah, eat shit, CJ Uzoma. Okay. So I'm going to do my final top 5 bet of the week. It is also another 8 play. No, it's my favorite 7. Instead of Zay Flowers, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb over 75.5 receiving yards as my final top 5 bet of the week.
Nice.
CeeDee Lamb, really, really good at football. Top 4th best separator against man coverage. Eagles play man coverage at the 10th highest rate in the league. Here's the thing. George Pickens is going to go against Quinyon Mitchell this week. CeeDee Lamb is not going to go against Quinyon Mitchell this week. So I like Lamb over Flowers for my final spot. I think Lamb is going to crush this week, and I got it at 75.5. And that's my fifth bet. Waleed?
Nice.
So my top 5 bet of the week here. Tony might be on Michael Pittman, but I'm going to have so much Alec Pierce in DFS this week. His price on DK is only 5,000. He's an incredible value. Over the last 4 weeks, rushing and receiving splits out wide. Kansas City is giving up 12.3 yards per target to wide receivers lined up wide. That's a large number. That's tied for the highest with Arizona. On top of that, my usage model here over the last for wide receivers over the last 4 weeks, based on target share and routes run, my number one projected receiver is Alec Pierce, ahead of Mbuka, ahead of Amon-Ra St. Brown, ahead of JSN. He projects for the most yardage, which I had to double check the math on this twice because it just didn't seem right to me. But then I looked a little closer here. Alec Pierce, over the last 4 weeks, has 109 routes run compared to Michael Pittman's 111. But he's got a 2.46 yards per route run. He's leading the league. He's leading his team in targets. This matchup favors Alec Pierce so much. And I feel like people don't realize how bad Kansas City's been good against the run. They are not good against the pass. That's where they can get beat. I know we're counting on Danny Dimes to do something, and I know he's had some slip-ups, but the Colts have been one of the best teams in football. I'm gonna bet on the Colts. It's simple as that. Over a 500 team, just because it happens to have Patrick Mahomes. Alec Pierce over 56.5 receiving yards is one of the smashiest plays of the week.
Okay. All right. Ryan?
My last top 5 bet this week is going to be on that Indy and KC game as well. I'm just taking the points total. It is currently at 49.5. That's what I got it at last night. Guys, right now, another reason I like the Colts to win this game, and if the Colts do win, it's going to be an over, I feel. The Colts right now are 7-3 against the spread this season, and overs are 4-1 in their past 5 games. And a potential shootout like this that could just go back and forth. I think 49.5 is easy. Once again, I'm thinking this is going to kind of turn out like that Tampa game where you could see a team get over 34 points, 31 points. I'm thinking like 31-24, something like that, 31-27.
Okay. All right. Cool. So then let's go through our parlays. As your reigning parlay king, let me do mine first. I have 2 pretty small odds ones. I'm trying to get back on the horse here after a massive hit to my bankroll last week. So my moneyline parlay: Seahawks, Patriots, Rams, and Lions, and I got that at plus 108. $10 would bring me 20.83. And then my same game parlay is Derrick Henry over 87.5 rushing yards and an anytime touchdown. That's plus 140. Put 10 on that to win 24. Ryan, tell us what you got.
Nice. All right, so I went with my two money lines that are my top 5. So I went with the Indy KC over 49.5. I went with the New England Cincinnati over 50.5. And then for Tony's Aer Lingus game of the week, I went with the Jacksonville Arizona game over 47.5. I put all 3 of those together to get, what was it, 582. I put $5 down to win a little over 34. And then from the Tampa Ram game, I went with all Rams. I think that Tampa won't be able to put up any points. I just think that the Rams have a better chance to win. So
Tampa has the flu, so
true.
So I went with one of my top 5 bets, the Stafford over 2.5 passing touchdowns. I paired that with Stafford's over 256.5 yards because I think he has a chance to get over 300. I went with Puka's alternate 7+ receptions, and I went with Kyron's alternate 50+ rush yards, which those last 2 were heavily juiced. So I got 550 odds on that. Put 5 on it to win a little over 32.
Okay, Waleed.
Yeah.
So my first bet of the week, What are we doing here? So I did my JSN parlay. He's my number one receiver by the model. So when the model, like when he's getting a 9 and he's up there in my usage model, like I said, I'm always going to bet this. It's going to hit eventually. I didn't do a receptions on this like I normally do because the Tennessee Titans, or are they playing Tennessee? Yeah, they're playing the Titans.
Yeah.
Uh, they're not very good at football. So I'm taking the Seahawks minus 13.5 to go along with JSN over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. I didn't want to do 7 JSN receptions because he might not get 7 targets if they go up quickly enough and explosively enough. I think he's much more likely to have limited receptions with a lot of yards. So that combined with the touchdown and the Seahawks minus 13.5, $5 at plus 538 is a payout of $31.90. And my second parlay, I had a boost for a touchdown parlay, and I took my top 5 bets of the week, and I figured who's going to get touchdowns. A Gibbs touchdown, easy. JSN touchdown, easy. And to add a little juice to it, I'm going with a Loveland touchdown. $5 with that boost gave me odds of plus 1, 2, 3, 4, and pays out $66.70.
There you go.
What was the odds on the Loveland touchdown? Like 200-300?
Like 230, 240, something like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, it was like I got a good. It
Because
kind
I
of
was
made
gonna
up for
say
Gibbs.
that made it go up a lot. I'm surprised you got 11.
Well, I did get like a 30% boost to those odds.
Also, it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, even still, that's a nice parlay for what I have. 2 chalks and
Sure.
a Loveland.
Sure. Okay. Well, as your reigning despot of Gambletown, even if it's in absentia,
Gambletown's on fire.
I'm getting bad odds on this, but I need to get back in the win column here, man. Even if it's minus 208, I don't fucking care. I was going to do actually a 2-legger, but we talked about not being able to do parlays on our milli bets, which makes sense to me. So I'm just going to take Shadur Sanders to throw an interception and at minus 208. I don't care. On DraftKings, you can actually, you can parlay that with other stuff. So
Sure.
I'll probably add that to a couple of bets I really like this week to try to juice those odds a little bit. But even if it's minus 208, I'm still going with Sanders to throw a pick this week. Ryan, our former leader, you go next.
All right, guys. This week I went with Christian McCaffrey's alt rushing and receiving 125 plus. You get plus odds on that at 102, $10 to win $20.20. Right now, guys, the Panthers are allowing targets to running backs 21% of the time. That's the third most of all defenses. And McCaffrey is heavily involved in that pass game. So he may not get 100 rush yards, but he could get 100 receiving yards, I feel. And sprinkle in a few rushes here and there. I think 125 is easily attainable for Christian McCaffrey this week.
I feel like that's just chalk for Christian McCaffrey, hence the plus 102. So
Right. Yep.
All right, Waleed.
So we know I love JSN. I like to get a little bit of juice, and I told you I think it's a yardage game, so I'm going JSN over 130 receiving yards at plus 265. $10 bet will pay me $36.50, and it will make me the ruler of Gambletown. Your God Emperor has not ruled once this year. He needs to be back.
Good luck. Over my dead body. All right. Well,
That's the plan.
Let's hop into our DFS builds real quick. No Josh this week, but we still have our picks to click for the week, and we'll start with Waleed. Who's your
So
quarterback?
my number one quarterback for the week. I'm going Jared Goff against the Giants.
Okay.
This in a dome off of a week where they lost. This is exactly the kind of spot where Jared Goff puts up a 4-touchdown game. I'm gonna have the way I approach DFS is I always have 5 lineups that I'm putting them in the millie. I'm putting them these are my lineups where I think they have the most juice, and one of them is going to be Goff. It's going to be a Goff build because he's Jared Goff. Simple as that.
Yeah, I respect it. Ryan, who's your quarterback?
I'm taking the chalk. I'm going May this week.
I'm gonna double up. I'm not even playing around here. I'm going Drake May as my quarterback.
I like the problem with this week is I like way more of the expensive quarterbacks than I like any of the cheaper ones. So yeah, I'm going May.
I get it, man. Like I will say, since it wasn't brought up, Jacoby Brissett still a solid punt option. He has not failed to be a QB1. His matchup isn't like the greatest. Like Jacksonville gets turnovers, but they give up passing yards. So like you're not going to get a repeat of last week where like the Jacoby Brissett like lineup did win the millie, but you're going to still get good production out of this if you're looking on quarterback.
Sure. The only thing that scares me is something's happening in Jacksonville, and it's clearly evident last week. They just freaking Chargers
Look,
put up 6 points.
yeah, they did because like they were starting. Who were they starting at? Like Trevor Penning at left tackle.
Oh, that's right.
Guy
They
that
had
couldn't
both
start
their
the Saints.
tackles out.
Yeah, their offensive line is wrecked. Like, and Jacksonville has a strong defensive line, so that was just like a matchup thing. Like, Jacksonville was a very favorite defense. I don't get me wrong. Like, I could easily see them wrecking Brissett, but I still think it's a safe floor for if you're looking to punt the position to pay up at other spots. Brissett is
Yeah.
still a solid value.
Sure. And I just get worried too because you look back at history with any quarterback in the NFL, when they have a historic game, they tend to fall back down to earth the following game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brissett could break the mold and do it again, and it's just he's having his career year. Just something scares me about him this week.
Well,
I
want to point.
I do like playing Brissett and McBride. Though
I want to point out that Brissett, his margin as a starting quarterback, the lowest fantasy production he's had is 19 points, and like his highest is like 23. He's been actually incredibly steady, which is exactly what you're kind of hoping for when you get a cheap quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I didn't go Brissett. I went Goff. I'm playing for ceiling. I don't think the ceiling is there for them, but he is still a strong play.
All right, Waleed, your running back.
My running back, I am so in on Travion Henderson at 6,700 against the Bengals. This has been something that like we've been arguing about a little bit because Ramondre is probably going to be back this week, and like I get being nervous, but man, like look at the Bengals. Like look at what they are doing. They are giving up over the last 4 weeks 6.4 yards per rush attempt. They lead the league in missed tackles by a significant margin. And all Henderson has to do is just juke a guy once and it's a touchdown. And against that Bengals defense, I don't think he needs the usage to be an explosive playmaker. Like I think he's one of those guys who's going to break the week, and I'm going to have a lot of Travion Henderson at his price this week.
Okay. Ryan, you're running back.
This week, guys, I like, once again, at running back, I like a lot of the more expensive options. So I'm just keeping chalk. I'm going Gibbs.
Okay. I like Gibbs a lot too. I'm going with Kenneth Walker as my mid-range guy. On DraftKings, like any optimizer is going to tell you that Emmanuel Wilson is who you should be jamming into your lineups, but there's a good chance Josh Jacobs plays. So all of the optimizer lineups that I see, if I'm taking note of what it looks like, I'm building a lineup like with Wilson in it, but I'm saving $100 so that I can pivot to Walker. Yep. I think this is a smash Walker week. If you're looking to save salary, you could do a Bashal Tootin, but right now Walker is my play.
I like to point out that my top 3 DFS running backs have been listed. Gibbs is the RB1. I have him in all of my cash lineups. I think he's one of the safest floor ceiling guys of the week, and I love Kenneth Walker. Like we've seen them, they were using him more in the goal line for the first time last week. He has been more efficient than Charbonnet, and they've been talking about how he has been. So I think like we're finally going to start seeing some like Kenneth Walker breakouts, and this is the week for him to do it.
Since Seattle's bye, Walker has had 4 of the 5 Seattle carries inside the 10.
Love it. Love it. What a great stat.
There you go, baby. All right, Waleed, your receiver.
Well, I already told you the guy I'm going to have everywhere. Alec Pierce at $5,000. I think he's a guy who breaks the slate. I'm going to have him almost everywhere that I can. Like I will have like 70% exposure to him in GPPs. Hopefully I'm right because if I'm right, I'm going to probably have a deep cash.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like people are going to be fading Colts players this week, and I think they're wrong to do so.
Totally dig it. I dig it. I mean, he was a 6 on my model, so my model
Yeah.
liked him too, just not as much as Pittman.
He was the number one use. Like he projects for the most receiving yards over the last 4 weeks, based on usage and the numbers that all these teams have produced. That blows my mind. Like that tells me that he's a game breaker.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Sure.
All right, Ryan, your receiver.
I'm going off the lineup that I built for the football absurdity contest. Um, so I have Alec Pierce on that as well, but since Waleed had that, I'm gonna go with George Pickens. Not just because I can't afford CD Lamb because I paid up at running back and Drake May, but if you look at his fantasy points, like he's getting numbers just as well as CD Lamb. Like
Yeah.
32 points last week, 15 points the week before, 15 points the week before, 34 points week 6. He's getting him and CD are heavily involved in this offense, so I think that's a good pivot. So yeah, George Pickens.
I
The
will
best thing-
say,
Go ahead.
like with George Pickens where he's at, personally, I want to spend $200 more to get T. Higgins in that spot, just because no Jamar Chase. Like Higgins averages like 100 yards and a touchdown without him.
Yeah, but he's going to get shadow coverage from Christian Gonzalez. So
That's the concern. I will admit that makes me nervous.
Ryan, who was your receiver? I'm sorry.
Pickens.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I do want to say the smartest thing I did in all of fantasy betting DFS in week 11 was put George Pickens in my MVP slot in my showdown entry on DK.
It was.
That's the only smart thing I did last week. All right,
The smartest thing I did was not play any showdowns on Thursday because I would have lost.
That's fair. All right, my receiver, this little dude named Jackson Smith and Jigba. Maybe you've heard of him. Waleed, who's your tight end?
I am paying down at wide receiver for a reason. Give me Trey McBride. I'm going full chalk here. I like Trey McBride will be in like 100% of my GPP lineups. He is the way he has been producing with Jacoby Brissett means that you can't bench him like without losing value. Simple as that. I like going double tight end here, putting him in the flex spot in a lot of spots because like his pricing is like you're getting like a low end RB1 like production, actually high end RB1 some weeks, and like at a price of an RB2. So yeah, let's go.
Love it. Ryan, your tight end.
We all know mine. It's Mr. Hunter Henry. Since I have to pay down, since I went expensive at running back and quarterback. He's got the best matchup for tight ends on the slate this week, and he's only DK is only 3,900. So,
yep. I was saying some stats on TH Fantasy. The new episode should drop any minute now. I think it's already out. That Cincinnati allows the most receiving yards per game on targets 10 yards or less from the line of scrimmage. And the only two Patriots receivers who have lower ADOTs than 10 are Diggs and Hunter Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Stealing, like, because people, I've been hearing people like talk about Booty. I know, like, since he looked back, that makes Matt Collins less relevant. But the one thing that Cincinnati's actually been good at is locking down wide receiver ones on the team.
Correct,
guys. Which is why I think that Diggs Hunter May is the Patriot stack.
That's the nuts. I think that might be the nuts for the week in fantasy.
It's going to be that with the Chase Brown run back.
Sure. All right. So my tight end, I'm actually going to do this. This Waleed was talking about. Sorry, my brain will autocorrect 2 tight end builds with Ryan's name in place of whoever I'm talking about forever.
I mean, it should be. He is the tight end king.
But I'm more than down to put Trey McBride in the flex if I'm paying down at all my receiver spots and maybe a running back spot, because this is a smash Brock Bowers week.
Oh, shit. Brock Bowers and Trey McBride in the lineup? Damn.
I got to tell you, like, because I'm going to have one Geno lineup, because it's kind of interesting that the Raiders actually match up really well against the Browns.
They do.
But, like, good God, like,
you
that
just
thing
blew
is
my
terrifying.
mind. It was like the Red Sea parting. Brock Bowers and Trey McBride in a lineup?
Dude,
damn.
Dude, I'm
that's
telling you.
That's like looking God in the face.
I actually think there was a lineup earlier in the year that like went really deep into Millie that had that combo. Might have won.
God bless.
Wouldn't
All right,
shock
Waleed, your fantasy defense.
Cleveland Browns against the Raiders. Like, I'm sorry, Cleveland's Miles Garrett versus Geno Smith feels like a 10-point floor to me.
Agreed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ryan?
The Browns are one of the best value defenses of the week.
Correct.
I already know Tony's going to take my second favorite like value defense.
We'll get there. Ryan, who's yours?
I'm going middle of the pack this week, and I'm going Bears against crippled hands Rodgers.
COVID hand.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is going to get embarrassed this week in a Bears spicy win.
I mean, like it's actually kind of interesting how much the Steelers defense and the Bears defense like mirror each other in that like they give up a ton of yards, but like they get like those fantasy turnovers.
They can
Steelers
get
obviously
picks,
get more
yeah.
sacks, yeah,
Fumbles.
and they're good on third down, red zone defense. Like it's an interesting. I think both of them are interesting DFS plays for defense.
Yeah.
Okay. My initial pick was Cleveland as well.
Yep.
I think the Raiders are way too chalky.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to pivot, my pivot is the New Orleans Saints.
Damn right.
Super cheap. I know. I was looking at that. I put them in a couple DFS this week too. I took New Orleans in the confidence pool to win this week.
No Drake London and Old Man Kirk, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's like the Saints are solid.
Right. Kirk Cousins, guys, is 1-5 against the spread in his past 6 starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also want to point out that Kamara might have a good game too, because Atlanta allows a 48% success rate to designed runs. That's the 3rd worst in the league.
I don't understand why Atlanta is as bad as they are. Like on paper, they should be rocking the NFC.
They are just blowing it. I don't know why.
True. All right, Waleed, can you tell us one more time your lineup?
So my top 5 guys, my core guys for the week: Jared Goff at quarterback, Travion Henderson at running back, Alec Pierce at wide receiver, Trey McBride at tight end, and the Browns defense.
Okay, Ryan?
I got Mr. May, I got Gibbs, I got George Pickens, I got Hunter Henry, and Bears.
Okay, and I have Drake May, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brock Bowers, and the Browns. Pivot to the Saints. Okay, so that's it, guys. Let's make up for lost time. Week 11 was a wash. Let's make week 12 our best week of the season.
Hey,
week 11 is in the past.
We are as dangerous as we're ever going to get. We're due.
Yes, sir.
Right.
All right, everybody. All right. Well, then until next week, we'll see you guys on the other side. Go football. I hope you win everything.
I should have let Evan know that we're about wrapping up, so we're probably going to be going.
Shout out to the Dead Air.
Yeah, Dead Air.
Yeah, go football. Win some money. We're going to win some money, and we'll retire. Waleed's going to win another.
I do have a question for Ryan. You went with Drake May, but you have Stafford at over 2.5 passing touchdowns. So how come you went chalk there? Why didn't you just stick with your guy?
Because I was just going off the lineup that I built on the DraftKings for that slate.
That's exactly how you should do it. Like the lineup that I'm rolling with is the lineup that I'm rolling with.
Yeah, that's how I usually do it for the show. Is I just whatever I build for the DK year contest, then that's what I do for the show.
Okay.
Well, if we're
and wait, no, and Stafford's on Sunday night, so that's why I couldn't get him in there.
Is he? Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
he is.
Stafford Sunday night. Otherwise,
if we're vamping for a minute, I just threw together
Yeah, I mean, I got some alternate bets we can talk about too.
Bowers McBride lineup. You want to hear it?
Oh shit, you got okay.
Drake May, Ken Walker, Derrick Henry, Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, Romeo Dobbs, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Saints.
Ooh. So the paying down for the Saints lets you get it.
Waleed, you're the DFX expert. Rate my fit.
What was that? Repeat it again.
It's in the TH Fantasy General chat.
Okay, I'm trying to get in here. I'm also
May.
trying to let our producer know that we're wrapping up
fine.
here.
Sure.
So
May, Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry, Alec Pierce, Jacoby Myers, Romeo Dobbs, Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, Saints.
that's a sexy ass lineup. I love that.
Right?
Derrick Henry versus the Jets. Like,
That's Jeep. That's a GPP lineup right there if I've ever seen one.
okay. Evan, I would tell you if you can listen, like maybe let us know when you're about to get us off the air because we're still talking. We're still vamping. I love this lineup. Jacoby Myers, I was talking with Zachy, Discord member, fucking football god, Zachy. We were talking, and I told him before the week I thought Jacoby Myers was going to be one of the great cheap plays of the week with BTJ out, like officially out too. That just bumps him up even more for me. So I'm pretty excited about that.
One of the bets that didn't make my top 5 though this week, but I will be betting it was Rashee Rice's over 6.5 receptions. 38% of targets against the Colts go to players in the slot, and that's the third most of all defenses.
Okay. Okay.
Another one I had was Minnesota plus 6.5. Because the Packers are 1-5 against the spread against teams with losing records this year for some reason.
Oh.
I shared one with Tony yesterday that I think might be my favorite lineup of the week. Although now that you kind of like, I might pivot off of T. Higgins on this, but I went Jacoby Brissett, Jahmyr Gibbs, Travion Henderson, T. Higgins, Alec Pierce, Michael Wilson, Colston Loveland, Trey McBride, and Saints defense for my Brissett build.
Thick.
Yeah. I feel like that. Yeah.
The last one I had written down was for the Bears game. Pittsburgh is 1-5 against the spread in their past 6 road games. And the spread's only 2.5. So I think the Bears win by at least 3 points. So
yeah, truth. All
All
right.
right.
Well,
so I think we're about to wrap up.
Yeah, I got a baby. I hear he needs to be cuddled.
All right, so hey, thank you guys very much for joining us, and
get paid. Haul ass. Get paid.
Let's get paid this week.
Yeah. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Peace.
And we are wrapping in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I could see these guys are already offline. Trying to like at least keep it going. This is weird. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Good God. Let me know. Are we off air, Evan?